Y'all, this season, it's all about community.
Because listen, in a world that's getting wilder by the day, one thing we know for sure, we can't do this alone.
And this season, we're diving into how we show up for each other, build our circles, and find joy, no matter what's going on in this crazy world.
And of course, we're bringing our usual mix of real talk, hot topics, and deep conversations because you know we have things to discuss.
And as always, we're keeping it raw, keeping it funny, and keeping it real. Because if we can't be honest here, then girl, call me later.
So grab your tea, get comfy, and get ready for a season full of laughs, love, and the kind of conversations you need in your life.
First of all, I just want everyone to like, and subscribe. This is our weekly chat. We took a break. I think we needed to center ourselves. Right?
Yeah, we wanted to take a break, and the good news is while we were away, nothing happened.
It was so quiet in the world.
Took 7 days away, and now I can't leave my house after 8 p.m. So,
happy Juneteenth, because we are still celebrating. I don't care what anybody else is doing, but I'm celebrating my freedom.
I'll be celebrating my freedom while in lockdown, but I'm celebrating the freedom that I have.
I'll be celebrating my freedom
in my over-policed community.
Well, before we go anywhere, I really want to say, I know you're not leaving your community. You're not allowed to leave without showing all forms of ID, including your birth certificate.
Right.
But I wanted to say, no, all jokes aside, it's been a crazy, crazy time. The two Minnesota representatives one she lost her life because of this climate, Melissa Hortman and her husband, and prayers to John Hoffman and his wife, and who I think are still recovering, and I hope they recover. The crazy thing is, have they found this person? As last I
checked, did. Yeah, I saw a news thing come through.
It's like if they had a different complexion, they may have been found sooner, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just assuming.
No, you're right. You're right.
Right.
You are right. Now, the thing that I did see was positive was Minnesota came out and was like, this will be tried as a state case, so there will be no federal pardon opportunities.
And would there be? Like, I think you would ask, there would be no federal pardon, right? Like you would in a normal world. Yeah, I think, there's a lot to be anxious about. There's a lot to be stressed out about. There's a lot to just almost want to check out about. But I think, we decided we were going to do a twist on this episode. Instead of focusing on what's wrong with the United States, because that would be a 10-part episode, we want to talk about what's right about some of the amazing places we're traveling to.
And sometimes all you have to do is turn around and there's a bright side on the other side. And in this case, right on the other side of the border, to the north and to the south. There are places that are
not far,
better, happier, safer in some respects, if you're a certain color of person that we both are. So, yeah, we're here to celebrate.
If you're coming from Antigua.
Girl. Well, they're not the only ones now. St. Kitts, St. Croix.
I mean, Haiti's on the list.
Oh, Haiti's on the list. Oh, yeah. Like, there's like 10 African countries on that list.
What did they
10, 15, including Ghana and Nigeria, by the way.
What did Tanzania do?
What did Ghana do?
Right. So yes. So what says we're thinking about crossing the border to get out on the other side. You're going to, I think you're traveling to Canada.
Get Out, not the movie Get Out.
You're going to Canada. And I am going to Mexico this week. Somehow we've become international. We're going to have a podcast from our new location.
It's our subconscious taking care of us, girl. Wrapping her black arms around us and saying,
the ancestors,
go forth. Fly, girl. Fly.
Right.
Fly far, far away from here.
The ancestors always take care of us, even if we don't know we need it, right?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa. Speaking of that, I don't, well, we have to talk about Martha's Vineyard because I don't know if you're going this year, but I'm excited about at least potentially, maybe in my mind or in my vision, or in some fantasy going. But tell us about Canada.
Yes, very excited.
Yeah, tell
Vancouver.
us a little bit. Oh, Vancouver. Tell us a
Hmm.
little bit about why Canada when we're thinking about places to escape to.
Well, I think I shared at the end of the year last year. This year, I wanted to go to a lot of places with water,
Mm,
and being in water, around water, very grounding for me. So, yeah, but just looking for somewhere to go. It's summer, it's beautiful up there.
it
I
is
like
beautiful.
being able to take boats places, just chill, relax. It's an easy flight from LA. Hopefully, the border is tight and I can't get back in to the US. I'm hoping for their best border agents to be working, and I'm hoping for some paperwork issue with my passport.
And
Um,
somehow you're stuck for
somehow,
the
some way.
next 3 years.
As I said, send for my things. Send for
Send The good thing
send
is
J
Jay
Seal.
Still, wasn't he gonna be with you this time? So
No, he won't be actually.
he's
So someone's gonna need to send for him.
send
Um,
for Jay Still.
send for him.
Bring
Mm,
your camera, Jay Still. It's beautiful.
exactly.
So
But I will be
tell us what you love most. What are some of the things that make it different for you besides
going to
water?
Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, what makes it different for me? Well, I mean, just what I love about Vancouver generally is it's super multicultural. I
Mm.
love the amount of food. Like there's great, obviously Asian cuisine, and well, maybe not
Jamaican
obviously for
food.
some people, but there's great Jamaican, there's great
Jamaican.
Southeast Asian, there's great Indian. Like I said, the beaches are beautiful. It's not really too hot. It's already getting hot here. It's not hot there. Being on the water is nice. Canadians are nice people. I
Yeah.
mean, I know that I'm already gonna be the person they probably wanna talk to about, like, "What is going on
Yeah, I hate that part. I
in your
hate that,
country?"
like
And maybe not because I'm black and they're gonna be like, "We know you
and
likely" you because I'm gonna be wearing my 98% pin, that's for sure.
everywhere.
Yes.
I might bring my you know what? That's a good point. Should I bring my 92% T-shirt?
And 92%, sorry, I said 98, that's what it should have been.
It really should have been 100, but
Right,
we digress. There's a few
right.
percentages of people who are still were now they know. Now they know because their cousins got deported. The misogyny that
It's
is.
exactly what it is.
It's
It's
the
exactly what it
misogyny.
is.
They appeal to that, what they see as strength, and they
Mhm.
see, God forbid, a woman would be in that position, and now they all wish that, she was right. Believe Black women. Sorry,
Right.
we're venturing into a very political conversation that we are
Which
not
we're gonna
avoiding,
venture
but
right
we're
out of
well, you know
so
what
that
we're
we're not
trying to
sent
do?
so that we
We're
are
not
not
trying to stay.
arrested at the border. I said I wanna not be able to come back in. I'm not trying to get arrested when they take my phone and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. What podcast? Did you not realize you are in from a over like,
Did you not
a
believe that you moved to
state-run
Russia?
media?" Yeah, we have
Right.
state-run media here.
Oh my god, but yes, I think that, Canada has gone through it a little bit too because, from the taxes to a lot of the policies that he, has put in place that has made it hard for Canadians. So, I think didn't they deport a Canadian or something? Didn't they round somebody up who was here on
In
a
Mexico who
visa?
was in Mexico. Yeah, yeah, they
Right.
had a
She
Canadian in
was a
Mexico,
tattooed
yeah,
artist or something. It was something crazy.
yeah.
Well, I'm headed to Mexico.
And what are you looking
And,
forward to about that?
what I look forward to, Mexico is just a community centered place where I'm going to. There is festivals and people are just enjoying their life. People, regardless of the situation or where you see them, the kids are in the street, they're enjoying themselves. They are trying to monetize everything, so I love a good listen, if I can have when I was there last time, someone showed up with a donkey on a Saturday offering selling me fruit at the door and knocked on the door at the Airbnb, and I said, "What kind of fruit you got?" And I'm so excited. I was like, I had seen the donkey roaming, and I was trying to figure out who owned the donkey. It's like seeing, like, a random dog. Then I was
Right.
like, "Whose donkey is this?" And then he showed up on Saturday with all his fruits and stuff, and I was like, "Listen, let me see what I can get." But I think for me, it's just the cultural preservation and the fact that the indigenous folks and people are so centered. They are celebrating, they are celebrating their culture. You have to enjoy their culture. You have to embrace their culture. They're friendly. Like, there was not one time I was in the street that nobody did not acknowledge my presence. They weren't, like, looking at me as a token and going, "Let me touch your hair." It was more like, "Oh, this person's here. Hello." Um,
Right.
and I think the pace it's hard for me to always everybody knows, it's hard for me to sort of live that soft life, but Mexico forces you to be in a pace of a quieter, softer life. It's like Caribbean. You cannot force anybody to serve you faster when you're in Jamaica or any of the Caribbean. It's almost like you can't go with that kind of energy when you are in Mexico. And I
Right.
think it's also great too that they just had Pride last week and they embrace the LGBTQIA, the
That's great.
community. And
That's great.
On Pride
Right.
Month, as we are celebrating, it feels good. It feels good to be embraced and feel safe because right now, I don't know how safe most of us
We with the LAPD, the Los Angeles sheriffs, we have ICE, and we have oh no, and
Homeland Security,
the
Homeland
California
Security.
National Guard, Homeland Security, and the Marines.
Yes,
So I'm
all
feeling
outside
yeah, who wouldn't feel safe? Who
with
wouldn't?
all the tanks going down your street.
I haven't seen not a one tank. I don't even know where these people are because I haven't seen one. I've actually seen less law enforcement in the past 3 days than I've seen since I lived in LA. So I don't actually know what the hell's happening.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think what I'm looking forward to is something to nourish my spirit. And I think that international travel puts you and allows you to see that we're not the best. You think about healthcare, if something happens to me and I stub my toe in Mexico, I'm paying $100 versus I'm paying probably 10,000 if something happens to me in the United States,
right.
even with insurance. And let's
Well,
not talk about insurance right now.
yeah, actually, I was gonna just say, I think the rubric that Americans have used to talk about why America is better,
Great.
the criteria is starting to be harder and harder to defend. So this whole like, yeah, but this is the land of anyone can come here and make a way for themselves is a little harder to believe these days. But
It's very hard to believe, and it's actually clearly I don't think we've ever really believed it. Let's be
no, we
completely
haven't.
honest. I mean, if we're honest, we've been performative because we're trying to survive. On a 4th of July, maybe grilling a hot dog. But are you really, like, into the parade, joining with your
Well,
flag,
I
celebrating
think the
your
story, yeah, I mean, the story for it's different for every group of people, right? I'm not going to negate someone else's feelings about who may have watched someone in their family climb and that was their story, right? They came over here with nothing and they climbed. But I would say for the
It's
part
true.
of us, for a part of the population who are African American, let's just speak to that experience right now. You didn't have a choice but to climb up
Right,
because
right,
you were stolen, brought here to be the bottom. So,
right,
yes, you're right. This is the land of you can be anything because you started from nothing. So,
right.
I, I think, but yes, I think that's why there is a large population of people, 92% Black women. Not saying that they're all African American, but a large amount of us understand that that story, that you can be anything here story has never been our story.
You know what I wanna we both often talk about things that we deserve. I think we were just talking about, the soft life and how we deserve to rest and deserve all the things. And we should, particularly Black women do deserve all of those things. But, we don't always get it. And so thinking about travel and what it means to feel safe, we just talked about a little bit about it. When you're thinking about traveling, what does it mean for you to feel safe?
I'm being honest. I
If
don't normally think about being safe
Hmm,
because I never feel like I'm going somewhere less safe for me than here.
well,
So safety is not something that like is on my
yeah,
radar like it is some of my other girlfriends who maybe they're like the safety is like number one criteria
yeah.
they're thinking about. And that it's also maybe the places I choose to go, but I don't often feel like I'm going anywhere where I am going to feel less safe as a Black woman than I feel in America.
That's actually my level of safety stands around the flight because 'cause I'm like,
Right.
"Oh, Lord, are we gonna skid off the
Oh, well,
runway?"
you're thinking like yeah,
Right,
like your
right.
literal safety. Yeah.
But once we kinda get over that hump and I get
By
there,
the way,
woo,
by the way, Tanya said to me the other day,
what'd
you
I
know what?
say?
You're lucky. You're really lucky you haven't been in one of these plane accidents. I said, what are you talking about?
I haven't
Like,
either.
you haven't either. And also, neither have most people
Right.
in the
When
planet.
I saw a stat, it's of the millions of planes that fly like, it was like 60 that have had issues, and of those, 30
Right.
actually had
Right.
injuries.
And you try to
So,
pin it on me saying, I'm lucky I haven't gone down.
aren't you blessed?
Meanwhile,
I think I
meanwhile,
said
you
something
see
about you
yourself
being blessed.
like the man in India. You're like, oh, that would be me. I'd be the one.
I will say, girl,
Sole
is
survivor.
everyone looking at the man in India and going,
I
"You
know
are
you're already booking seat 11A. That's where you've been
girl."
sitting about the rest. You're like, I know there's something with that seat 11A.
11A is life goals. Can I just life goals is seat 11A. Life goals right now to survive it all. Just to
If he starts a YouTube channel, Tanya's gonna be his number one subscriber.
I will because
Tips
or
tips from
listen,
seat 11A.
girl, that's a good show. We could produce that. That's
Okay,
awesome.
okay.
Um,
Pleasure.
but safety, listen, I got a money belt on me to make sure nobody takes my coins. Passport's in there. I've got a purse that has certain technology in it so that no one can like put their phone next to mine and take my identity. There's certain things I mitigate the issues. But
Yeah.
girl, let me go eat and drink.
Yeah, I honestly I didn't used to feel like this. Like I think like I was saying it in jest before, but like I live in a city where there's like 6 different law enforcement agencies right now called to patrol our streets. I've been to other countries where I've traveled there, like, and I haven't seen police either my entire trip. So it's like I don't there's not a place right now that could make me feel less safe probably that I would want to go to
Yeah.
that is less safe than the United States.
You know, one of the things I love about traveling, particularly at certain places, is I don't feel like I have to spend so much money on the everyday. I mean, there's so much opportunities, particularly in Mexico. That's one of the things I love that you don't have to think about having thousands of dollars in order to enjoy yourself.
This may be where we differ.
You want to I'm a budget girl. I'm a budget
I
because you know what
am
I'm trying
not.
to do? I'm trying to save all my coins
I
for
know.
just in case.
I don't make it home tonight. Past my curfew.
You're doing
I
luxury. Wherever you're staying in Canada is gonna be you're gonna have a
No,
spa.
it's the middle
You're
of the
gonna
road. Well, yes, there's gonna be a spa. There's
okay.
gonna be yeah, yes, but yeah, I'm not gonna go crazy, but I'm gonna feel like I'm on vacation. I'm not gonna feel
I
like I'm
feel like I'm on
working.
vacation. I don't do any massages when I travel because there's only one person allowed to massage me, and that's my masseuse, TJ Wellness.
Do they
And
know that they're the only person that can massage you?
because you know what happened? Last time I went and did a trip. I got a massage, my neck was hurting, my lower back. I'm delicate. So there's certain
I
things
think
I
we
need.
all
So
know
I
that.
don't not everyone needs to be all up on my grill.
Right.
But when you're thinking about what's the one thing you're actually looking forward to on this trip?
Hmm. It's just I think being on the water, like I said,
You're
being
on
on
a
different
gonna be on a boat or something, or you just
yeah, girl, Vancouver, yeah, I'm taking ferries, 2 different days, we're taking ferries out to different islands.
so
We're
you're gonna be
staying on
like
the water.
you're gonna do Thai tea at like Queens. What's it
I'm not
called? There's
doing
a
high tea. That does nothing about high tea in me.
okay.
What's
When you
happening?
go to Vancouver,
I
they
mean,
have wonderful high tea, by the way. So it's fine.
I don't do tea, but thank
Okay.
you. The last thing I need to be doing is any more European pageantry.
Okay.
Okay.
Keep moving.
British, just saying. We can unpack your obsession with tea another time.
Yeah, that's next
Um,
episode.
yeah, so ferries, ferry life. I'm excited about being on the water, staying on the
Okay.
water, and then going out for a couple days.
Yeah. I'm excited about well, I do like to shop when I'm there, but I'm excited about the community that I'm connecting with. It's kind of crazy the amount of
Plazas. How
the
do you say it?
plazas. I am
Pla,
the
pla,
plazas. But
pla,
what I'm excited
plaza.
about is I have dinner at one friend's house planned that we're gonna be at the pool by her house. She's cooking dinner. I have a dinner with another friend that I met there that lived there. I mean, it's like this
Tell people where you met these friends, because these aren't friends you met in the US,
no, these are all people who are part of the expat community in San Miguel de Allende.
but that you
And
met them online or what?
actually, I'm a member of lots of Facebook groups, but as one actually, both of them, it's kind of funny. Both of them, one I met walking in to a condo that I was kinda looking at because I was doing some house touring, and I walked in, and her husband were sitting in the house. They were allowing the realtor to give the tour, and girl, next thing you know, we're friends. Now we're friends. We've met several times. They were here in California. We took them out to dinner. And then the other one, I was sitting in a cafe and she had a dog in her backpack. Anyone with a black woman with a dog in the backpack, we're bound to be best friends. And so so we got our WhatsApp and now we're like, let's grab dinner. One of the
Isn't this how
chefs,
you met your best friend too? Just
probably it's
randomly?
some I meet
This is
random
you know what?
people.
That church, or excuse me, spiritual organization was right for choosing you, because you really can pick someone up off the street.
I picked someone off the street. I will also
Right.
say the chef, because they're having a Juneteenth celebration on the 19th. I'm going to Mexico to enjoy Juneteenth. They're having a Juneteenth celebration in which they're like showing love and basketball, and they're doing
It'll be
some
perfect for you.
love and basketball, and then some like karaoke. So the sis, I reached out to her because she was my chef when I was there, and I said, Jackie, because she has a YouTube show and she follows
Okay.
us. And
Hi,
I
Jackie.
said, Jackie, girl, call us. So we need to have her and her husband on the show. They have plot, a whole YouTube show about living in Mexico as black, as a black expat. They call themselves immigrants. They don't call themselves expats. And then so I said, girl, what are you cooking up? She's like, girl, I'll be having fried chicken and shrimp and grits on Saturday. I said, okay, let me get a plate. So that's so literally, I know I'm like going to Mexico, but I'm also having the sister girl experience.
Girl, let me have a plate is crazy.
Let me have a plate. Oxtails are on Sunday. So there's another sis who she has actually she's a Haitian woman and she has a pizzeria, but she also has oxtails on Sunday. I love oxtails. There's nothing better. But what I'm telling you is the point about all this is like find community. It's easy to
Yeah,
find community outside of the United States,
yeah,
right? You
yeah,
don't have to be here
right.
to build community. You can
Yeah,
do this.
yeah, that's true. You know, it's funny, I'm not a huge, like, talker and chatter and
Mhm.
meter when I'm out traveling, but
Okay.
I probably should when I go to Canada, because I was looking at some stats. Canad Over 70% of Canadians receive mental health care through therapy. And I
Wow.
was like, "You know what? I need to be talking to more people who are therapized." Now, this is in comparison to the United States, where the number's, like, hovering at, like, 48 to 50%. of
Which is
people.
yeah, which is
And
why
and knowing the US, it's probably 35% of those people are in crisis.
right.
So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I do need to be meeting some friends and talking to some more people when I'm in somewhere like Canada where people are actually, know how to have conversations, know about themselves, understand, you know, what's happening around them and how they exist in this space and
Yeah.
world.
Is that the
Yeah.
one thing that you wish we would normalize more in the United States when you think about, what is that one thing you're like, "I wish we would normalize more." I think we're trying, but we're
Sure.
clearly not there because 'cause we're not at 70%.
Yeah, I mean, mental health for sure. I don't know if it's the one I mean, healthcare generally, don't get
Mhm.
me started today, seeing as how I had
You had a this yeah, issue
an incident with yet another academic medical center in Los Angeles that
that are
is
supposed to be great.
garbage, had me had me with a mammogram appointment 6 months ago, called me this morning for my appointment tomorrow to say, "I'm sorry, your appointment's canceled, our machine broke." Girl, what?
How did it you're a
First of
huge
all,
right.
you have one mammography unit.
How is that possible?
Not possible. And if I cancel on you less than 24 hours, you'd be charging me a copay.
Or you try to prioritize me to get me I mean, where was the priority? When
But
was the appointment?
when I
Right.
call back, they said, "Oh, our next availability is December." Are you I couldn't I started laughing out loud. I said, "You must be kidding me."
Did
She
you
said,
say
"No, sorry.
December? It
We're
wasn't
really
even
backed
I
up."
it wasn't even September.
December? No. I'm like, "December? I
Well,
already waited 6 months."
that tells you there's some lies associated with that cancellation
First of all,
because
because they had you press one of the menus was like, "Press if this is for a regular routine screening or a diagnostic, or if you have an issue or pain." The problem with this healthcare system is if I would have pushed, "I'm having pain," I would have got faster treatment, not because they care about me,
no.
but because that would guarantee them probably 2 to 3 years of bills,
Oh,
unlike
yeah.
my screening mammogram. So
Your screening wasn't gonna give enough money.
what they'd rather me do is wait until I'm diagnosed with something in late stage, and then they can get my paper that way. Or I could have got an appointment I'm sure if I said I was pregnant or thought I was pregnant, and then they'd have me for 9 months. Don't even get me started as a woman in her 40s who is not having children, getting any care for your reproductive health is an absolute nightmare. Nightmare. You are not prioritized at all. And then walk in, and that's even before you get through the doors. Then when you walk in the doors, that's a whole nother story. So yeah.
Meanwhile, in Mexico, they have several places that you can go. You pay $100 and you can get your mammogram pretty much and they'll give you basically the thing when you leave. You'll give you the script and the video when you leave.
At this point, it may be easier for me to buy my own mammography unit.
Okay, I hope you don't have to go that far to invest that much money in a unit. Or, like, girl, I will tell you, one of the things I'm going to Mexico to do is get an eye exam so I can get $17 in great eye care, eyeglasses, because I spend so much money for my glasses. Last time I spent for these lenses alone was $250. $250, and it took 2 weeks to get. They can get you to you in 30 minutes, an eye exam, and a new pair of glasses for 17. So I may be getting, like, at least 4 pairs while I'm there. That's on my list.
Yeah, so we're going to both of these places in hopes of happier and healthier outcomes. Honestly,
Healthier.
I probably should have booked a mammogram when I was in Canada.
You really should. I mean, honestly,
It sounds so insane that we have to say this, but, like, I honestly should have probably done it.
I mean, a lot of people are doing, like, actually going for dental work. I mean, lots of care out of the country because the healthcare alone, you have to wait. But then the healthcare alone is just not good.
Yeah,
I mean, you're kinda like it's like you're flipping a coin and hoping for the best. So I think that's one thing. We wish that they would prioritize. I think it's prioritizing people's health at
yeah,
a level that they do outside of the United States. One
yeah,
thing I was thinking about is community. I think, particularly in Mexico, it's just great to see the people embrace each other. I
Yeah.
think that was nice to see this week with the the protests around No Kings
Mm,
because it like people were actually standing up for other people. And
yeah.
I don't know if we often do that. We often put our head down and you may not even say hello to your neighbor or even know their name.
Yeah. 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 Even those like subtle signs of welcoming people. I would say that again too about Canada is what I love about is like the signs in the street, signs in the airport, the multiple languages things are always
Yeah.
published in. Here, we had this poor girl try to sing the national anthem, our actual national anthem in Spanish at the Dodger game, and she's now banned from Dodger Stadium for life. Did you hear about this?
No, what are you talking
Yes.
about?
This is on the a Friday game or Saturday game. She was singing the national anthem. She's Latina.
Yeah.
She When she got there, she said, "I'd love to do a version," which, by the way, is like a federally approved version of the national anthem that was approved by, I don't maybe it was FDR or something, I can't remember.
Okay.
It's been approved for 60 plus years. She said, "I would like to be able to sing the national anthem in Spanish." They said no.
Great. Okay.
She said, "Okay, I'm doing it anyway."
Oh,
That's what she said in her head.
I
So,
love her.
girl, she went out there.
Listen.
She hit them notes in Spanish, and they said, "Thank you, you're banned."
Viva.
They said, "Thank you, you're banned from the stadium for the rest of your life."
Banned from the stadium. Okay, not
And this
banned
is the
from
thing, it's
singing.
not like she
Not
went
banned
out
from
there
singing. Come
and
on.
sang another song that was like Revolucion, like, she sang our national anthem just in another language
And
that
LA
is
Dodgers
approved
at the
In Los Angeles, that used to be part of Mexico.
Los Angeles. Los
Los Angeles.
Angeles.
Yes. Now the girl can't see the Dodgers play again.
Okay. That was first of all, I thought it was maybe in Idaho or Wisconsin or something,
This
but
was in
in Los
and
Angeles.
by the way, the name of where the Dodger Stadium is Chavez Ravine. Chavez Ravine. Okay?
What was going on? That's you know what? But that is where we are. It's the climate of not inclusivity. There is no
Opposite
inclusivity.
of inclusivity, right.
There's no
It's like
inclusivity.
exclusionary lifestyle.
I think the one thing we have to like to
That
me,
is so can we just pause for a second?
let's say how trash that
Every
was.
In Los Feliz, in
Look,
Chavez Ravine, she sings a thing something in Spanish, and they're like, "Not allowed." And it's like,
you're banned for life, not just from
literally every
singing.
word
From
about in this city and about this experience is Spanish. There's Dodger jerseys that say Los Doyers. It's a whole
uh-huh.
thing.
I mean, and can we talk about the amount of players who are
Hello?
let's talk about the player demographic.
Latin America is a huge feeder for no, I can't. I can't. I
That's
can't do
bad,
it.
actually. That's actually almost that, our good hair governor should do better.
Well, I didn't see Miss Karen Bass, our mayor, stepping out supporting her either.
She was too busy making sure that you guys were all on a curfew that I feel like is slightly unnecessary.
Slightly?
I'm just
I'm just
I'm
getting
trying to
word that it moved back till 10 p.m. No.
but
So
she
I
said
can
it's under like, there's no end in sight right now.
No, she's tripping. Of course, there's no end in sight.
Yeah, okay,
I can't.
okay. So, I think what we're learning is exists in more places than United States. And I would say that regardless of, whether you're taking a trip or not taking a trip, I think finding joy outside of the bubble is so
Yeah,
important.
and you don't have to go far. I think that's the other thing we're learning, right? Like,
Right?
sometimes
You
it
don't have to go to
feels
Italy
right
or
now, it feels like the walls are closing in on us,
right.
and they are, but you don't have to go far to be able to not only you deserve to be somewhere where you feel accepted, seen, and you can take a breath. and you can go
Ooh,
outside of your house after 8 p.m. and, you can feel free to go to your child's graduation without feeling like you're going to get kidnapped or, whatever. So, yeah, I think that the key thing though is you don't have to go far away and you deserve to feel safe.
yeah.
We all deserve to feel safe.
And, we're talking a lot about emancipation. Emancipation, emancipating yourself from mental slavery, as Bob Marley would say. And really freeing ourselves from maybe the borders that exist that we have, not only physically, but in our mind. On this Juneteenth,
Yeah.
as we celebrate Juneteenth, this today and in the next, hopefully the next week, the week as we go through the weekend, what is the one thing that you want to just remind everyone?
Well, I think that freedom is
Mm,
I think freedom is ours,
yeah.
and it in some cases right now, we may have to abandon what we thought and go find it for ourselves.
Yes, that is a snap. Don't be afraid to look for your freedom.
Mm,
Don't be afraid to search outside the comfort zone, search outside of what you see as norms. Don't be afraid because it's okay. Because you know what? The fight continues, but the fight, we get in this mindset that we have to be part of the fight. We have to be in the fight. We have to be on the front lines. And it's okay to decide to protect yourself and protect your peace. And it's okay to make a different decision and find your joy. That is freedom.
yeah. I Thank you for sharing. I wanted to share with you what my chat GPT we got a lot of feedback about the relationship I have with my chat. I just wanted to share with you what they think an affirmation could be for Juneteenth. Uh,
Ooh, love it.
Today, I honor the strength of my ancestors and the freedom they fought for. I carry their legacy with pride, walk in my power with purpose, and celebrate the joy of being unapologetically free.
You know what?
And then it asked me, would you like a
Oh,
version that feels softer, more spiritual, or a little more fiery? It knows my
fiery. Girl,
Well, let me
I need
see, let me
fiery.
see. Yeah, let's
Let's
see.
do fiery.
Get it a little
ChatGPT.
more fiery for me. Okay. Ooh, here we go. I am the dream of the enslaved, unbroken, unstoppable, and unafraid. On this Juneteenth, I don't just remember freedom, I embody it, I rise, I reclaim, and I reign.
And everyone out there, make sure you know that you reign. And we're not going to hide our glow for anyone. That was beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, chat, also.
Okay,
Um,
we're not thanking chat, but we're going to say thank
I get
all of our listeners.
one more from chat.
You have
Which
another
one do you like
one?
better?
Okay, let
My
me see.
blackness is not just resistance, it is revolution, brilliance, and birthright. On Juneteenth, I don't ask for freedom. I move like I own it because I do. I am the legacy. I am the future. I am free.
First of all, for everyone who's going to start looking for the t-shirts that we're going to use to make those t-shirts, just know that the store will be open in a couple months. But well, Jessica, we'll chat back after our trip. Or
Yeah.
while we're on a trip, we
Or
may have an
maybe we're
episode
there.
next week.
We may be
Um,
there.
but I just wanted everyone to take time, breathe, and thanks for listening. Like, share, subscribe, follow, comment, and you might want to buy us a coffee.
And happy Juneteenth. Don't let them
Happy
take this away.
Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth.
Hey, it's Jessica.
Thanks for listening to Girl Call Me. If you have something to add or a story to share, come on over to Instagram or Facebook and join the conversation. Also, make sure you follow and subscribe Girl Call Me. You don't want to miss when we release new episodes. Thanks for listening.